we have got into the National Safety Week. Yesterday we launched the ICC OHS update microsite, which is as good as a website. You may please check and have updates from regarding OHS. All there are articles put up and regarding our upcoming activities also. So today we have got together for this program, for this webinar, which is on positive, taking a cue from the National Safety Days theme. The webinar has also been rightly positioned as positive safety culture, an important pivot for sustainable development. So I would request Dr. Krishna Nirmalya Sen, Chairman of ICC OHSC Expert Committee, to please deliver his opening remarks to all the participants.
Yeah, very good morning to all of you, and namaskar. Good morning to the speakers of the day, Dr. Panda and Mr. Janardhanam, and of course, all my colleague, Mr. Ina Shahu, who is joining from Bhubaneswar, ICC team, Shoma Madam, Shurjadeep, and whoever is supporting, and all the dear participants from various places. I am sure a couple of more people will be joining as we proceed, but in the interest of time, we will start. I have a few words to share at the beginning. ICC, after we had instituted the panel and then updated to a committee, we are getting a lot of good response from the industry, and we are also trying to connect with the academia and bring academia and industry in the same platform with the help of the government colleagues in the various areas. So I think like National Safety Council is a tripartite body which has labor union one side, management on the other side, and the government on the third side. I think will try to have that sort of collaborative efforts with the help of all stakeholders, because safety and health is comes from those multiple areas. In somewhere it is research, somewhere it is application of the research, and somewhere it is implementation and regulations and upholding the legal requirements and the constitutional protection which has to be provided by the state to the public. So with all this broad perspective in mind, we have been trying to do small initiatives in the beginning, and now this year with this National Safety Day having celebrated in the headquarters of ICC, I am sure with all the goodwill of the fellow like-minded professionals, I think we will take this to a better height, and I'm very glad to start this program in this National Safety Day, and wish this all the very best. I am sure the learning shared by the two learned, very experienced professionals, Dr. Panda and Mr. Janardhanam, with a lot of international experience, Singapore and other countries. Even if he was in the recent past, recently in Philippines, I think he has come back again to India and now in Chennai. So a long time friend, and also so I am sure with the industry and international learning from both the speakers will be extremely beneficial to all of us. I am very eagerly actually looking forward to hear both of them. With this, I hand over the mic to Soma Madam to take this forward and start this program.
Thank you, Dr. Sen. We move on with the webinar. We have our first speaker, Mr. V. Janardhanam. He's a consultant with Chennai Metro Rail Corporation, and he will address us on safety culture driven by client and consultant. So over to you, Mr. Janardhanam. Mr. Janardanam, you are muted. So we can't hear you, Mr. Janardanam.
Oh,
Yes, we can
very
hear
sorry.
you now.
Yeah, I'm very sorry. Good morning to all of you. Good morning, Dr. Kenson. Good morning, Soma, Dr. Sahu, and others joining this webinar. I'm happy to join this webinar during this National Safety Day event conducted by ICC. Today, my topic, I wanted to share that safety culture driven by client and consultant. So actually, my name is Janardhanam, as informed by just now shared by Kenson. I'm safety and health expert. I'm working in Chennai Metro Rail, general consultant. So we are always talking about the safety culture, but how to inculcate this culture, how to implement this culture? That is a big question mark, you know. When always we are talking about the culture, okay, very good. But how we have to implement this culture to the contractors, to the engineers, to the workers and all. So these are all the things that we are going to discuss. The theme of the today topic is positive safety culture, an important period for sustainable development. So for sustainable development, the positive culture is very important, but how we are implementing this safety culture in various different fields. So I am in a construction field, you know, very difficult field, you know, very difficult industry. So like not like other industry like oil and gas or manufacturing or what. The construction industry, you all very well know that, you know, the workers are coming from the straight away from the agricultural field, and to educate those people and bring it to those the standard, and without a incident or accident, completing the project is a big task. So the implementing the safety culture is really very challenging in the construction projects, and how we are achieving that, I wanted to share. How the client and the consultant cultivating positive safety culture among contractors to attain sustainability. So the contractors, you know, there are different contractors coming in. They have a subcontractors and they may have a workers, and we have to have the expected standard, safety standard from all those different contractors, different subcontractors, and their subcontractors and their workers. For that, you know, the very important person is the client, the owner. He has to claim, he has to give the direction what he wants. So that is more important. When the client wants, then automatically, you know, the consultant who is the client is engaging the consultant, he will direct the consultant, and the consultant have a control on the contractors, how the whatever the client's requirements we are implementing into the contractors, and we are asking the contractors to do according to the client's requirement. So these are all the things how we are doing the positive safety culture. So just to have a understanding what I am talking about, that is the Chennai Metro Rail map, the phase 2. You can see that one, you know, you can see below, they written as a Chennai Metro Rail phase 2 project, corridor 3, corridor 4, corridor 5, you know, each is 50, around 25, more than around 110 kilometers of the metro rail is, we are going to do that. We just started 6 months back, and we are going to finish this project maybe in another 3-4 years. This entire stretch is around 110 kilometers, having the 58 stations, 108 stations, 58 station is underground, and 50 stations is elevated. This whole stretch is mixed up with underground tunneling and the elevated metro. The total cost of this project is around 70,000 crores, where the 25% money is coming from Tamil Nadu government, 25% is coming from central government, and 50% from the loan from JICA and the ADB bank or what. So this is the brief of the project. You may see this volume of work by seeing the map and all. And also we are doing this entire stretch in the main road, where the people are moving in the main road. We are doing the underground metro and also elevated. Many of you know how the metro is constructed. So really it's a very challenging job, and we are bringing the people, more than 20,000 workers, and the expected standard we need to get from the contractors and we need to get from the workers. At the same time, we have to implement the safety culture according to our requirement. This is the client. So from start with how we are managing. So we are always talking about the culture, and as I told you, how we are going to do this project safely without any incident, and also implementing the simultaneously implementing the culture. So this is start from the client. The client, when the client is having the contractual agreement, when they are doing the tender itself, they put in this clear employers requirement, the occupational safety, health and environment requirements. These are all the contents, volume 1, volume 2, volume 3. The volume 4 is the tunneling manual, because since we are doing the tunnel. So I am also wonder, I just now Kenson told me that I am having more than around 15 years experience in Singapore, in Malaysia, and recently I spent around 3 years in Manila, and I traveled all over the Southeast Asia for doing the auditing, inspection, and for the construction projects. More than 30 years in underground and elevated metro projects in Singapore and Manila and all. I done the metro projects, underground and elevated. So far, I never see this much of requirements in any of the country. So in India, in Chennai Metro Rail, when I came, last 6 months, from 6 months, because this is my native in Chennai, I wanted to come back Chennai. I wanted to do the project in our home country. So that's why I left the job in Manila and I wanted to come back to the Chennai. The important thing is, when I come, I saw the requirement. Really, I wondered. So the requirement is around 650 pages. They written 650 pages, very elaborate and very detailed. Everything they put in and put it in this requirement in the volume 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's very elaborate, and all these requirements, as a consultant, we are the consultant, we have to make sure that the contractors are following the requirement, because the client have an agreement with the contractor with all these requirements. So these are all my requirements. You have to implement these requirements. They are having a contract, but they are engaging as a consultant. So they ask us to supervise and make sure that the contractors are following the requirements without fail. So when I saw these requirements, really it will bring the contractors and the engineers and supervisors and the subcontractors and workers, really bring the culture, because everything is written, everything is in detail. You can refer back, and we can educate the contractors, and they also can learn the requirements, and they implement those requirements. And when they implement all those requirements, really the safety standard will go up. When the safety standard go up, the culture also go up. So that's why I really happy to share this webinar when Mr. Kenson yesterday, Ms. Soma and Mr. Kenson asked me to join with this webinar. I'm happy to share this information. See, to start with the OHSC policy, the Chennai Metro Rail OHSC policy statement itself. So maybe the client, when you are always asking what is your policy? No, I want to complete the project in time with less money or what, all these things. Always we say, we hear. But the client itself, the owner itself is saying that constantly work towards improving the safety culture at all levels. So they themselves, they come out with the policy. They wanted to improve the safety culture at all levels, not only from the owner, even in the owner itself, client, as I say, CMRL in the owner itself, and to the consultant, to the contractors, subcontractors, and workers. They wanted to implement the safety culture at all levels, which is our theme. And also they wanted to have compliance with the legal duties, and they wanted to have ensure that resources are available, and they wanted to see the safety performance according to the requirements, and making sure that the culture is developing in India into the international safety standard. So for that, they are asking, these are all the plans, even in they're written clearly in the contract condition. When the contractor comes, they have to submit the safety plan, fire plan, lift plan, health plan, emergency plan, safety plan, contingency plan, traffic management plan. So the traffic management plan is one of the important plan because we are doing the work in the middle of the road and the on-site traffic management plan. So inside the site also, how you are managing the traffic, because a lot of machineries are moving, the workers are moving. They wanted to have develop a culture, see the even in the site itself, the machinery have to go in a assigned way, and also they may have a dedicated pedestrian access, and we ask the workers to move on the dedicated pedestrian access. So from that onwards, we are starting the culture. So that's why how to implement that culture. When they enter into the site, there may be two gates. One is for the vehicles, one is for the pedestrian. So even we are allowing the pedestrian, all the workers to go on the pedestrian way. They should not go and mingle with the heavy machinery or what. By preventing this access, we are safeguarding the worker and we are developing the culture. So the training also, how we are doing the training, what are all the training topics and all. These are all the things we ask the contractors to submit the plans, we review the plans, and we approve the plans, and according to the plan, we are asking the contractors to do the work. So, the promotion, the occupational health and safety promotion. We are asking the contractor to submit the annual promotional program. Not only, maybe tomorrow what we are going to do, next week what we are going to do. It's not like that. For 1 year, how you are going to promote the safety, and maybe on a weekly basis or monthly basis or quarterly basis, what is the promotional program, how you are going to implement the culture. You can say that to demonstrate his commitment to advancing the OHS culture at site. So in each and every places, they are insisting on the culture and reinforcing the concept of the OHS, and the construction are inseparable. So this is very important that they are very much concerned about safety. And then you can see that the posters. The posters is we are asking, the Chennai Metro Rail is asking many posters to put up in the site. Even they written in detail in the contract itself. The first line, I want to highlight the first line. You see the first line, the safety culture. So even the safety culture posters, they wanted to put up in the site whenever the workers come, the engineers come, the subcontractors come, any visitors come, even the client come, they will see the posters and see they wanted to remind the cultures and maybe the usage of PPE, the plans or what, these are all, it is written clearly. Then you come into the design. So always where with the construction is you start with the design. Even during the design itself, we wanted to do the risk assessment for all the temporary works, the farm work, heavy lifting equipment and all. So the temporary works, if I am talking about like deep excavation for the underground, deep excavation is around 25 to 30 meters deep for the station construction. For all these things, we need to have a proper design and a proper risk assessment to prevent the any unsafe act or unsafe condition or collapse or what. So these are all the things, even it is written in the document itself. They wanted to have a culture having the design for the construction, temporary structure, farm work and heavy lifting and all. Then they are talking about the legal and statutory requirements. They ask the contractor to follow all the legal requirements, whatever the Indian statutory requirements and all, it is written clearly. Then we ask them to get the certification. Apart from that, we are asking all the contractors, not only with the client's requirement. They may return 650 pages of client requirement. Apart from that, they are asking for the ISO certification, 45,000 ISO certification. The contractor have to get the certification and they have to submit the ISO certification to the client. So then they want the objectives and the programs. So what is your objective? Detailed objective. What are all the programs to achieve the safety plans, to achieve the objective, to achieve the safety culture? These are all the things that we wanted to see, we wanted to review, we wanted to approve, and we wanted to make sure that they are following the requirements. Even if some contractors they are not obey the requirement and they are deviating from the requirement or what, the engineer, we as a consultant, right to stop the work. This is very important requirement. If we feel that they are not following the standard or culture or what, we will simply stop the work and we issued the stop work. And for the past 6 months, I can share that I issued 2 times stop work order for various reasons. The training agency, this is very important slides. I wanted to share that. Even as I told you that we are getting the EHS training plan. So, but when they submit the EHS training plan, so we are asking who is going to give a training to you, because we wanted to approve the training agency. So we wanted to review the training agency, qualification of the training agency, experience of the training agency. Then we approve the training agency, and the contractor is only allowed to use the approved training agency to engage to give the training to their engineers and supervisors and workers. So I wanted to share that how much deeply that Chennai Metro Rail is thinking, and all the metro projects are thinking, and the government is thinking, and they wanted to put pressure on the contractor to get the training agency also approved, because any simple person cannot come and do the training. We wanted to make sure that the training agency is a qualified agency. Then the external audit. So the contractors not only you are implementing all the things. Once in 3 months, we wanted to do the external audit. We asked them to engage a third-party audit and do the audit whether you are doing according to the requirement, and whether you are implementing the safety culture promotional program, whether you are meeting your objectives and programs and all. We through the external audit once in 3 months, we wanted to see that report and make sure that the contractors are following. Then Mars audit. The Mars audit is the peculiar audit only for the metro projects all over the India. Monthly audit rating system. This is the monthly audit rating system, and even in the Delhi Metro, Mumbai Metro, all the metros it is available. In Chennai Metro Rail also available. Every month, the consultant is going to the contractor and doing the audit, and we are coming about the with the rating. So what is the positive point in here. You can see A 2.14.1. So when they achieve around 65 marks, they will get 50 lakhs rupees apart from the contract. This is the special money. Once if they achieve 65 marks, the Chennai Metro Rail wanted to give 50 lakhs rupees to the contractors, especially for the safety, because everybody wanted to get the money. At least you get the money and you spend the money to the safety, and don't think that you are spending the money for the safety without getting anything. But Chennai Metro Rail wanted to give the money for implementing the safety. This is the important requirement. I didn't see in overseas, but I can able to see in India. So as I told you before, stop work order and the penalty also. If they are not, people are not following, then the contractor, the client will give the penalty, because by pay of, the people are not following, then we, by paying the penalty, we wanted to bring back to them to follow the safety standard, to ensure the safety culture. So with that, I just shared some of the key points because of the time limit. Only 15 minutes, 20 minutes they gave me. I think I completed this presentation within 15-20 minutes. I wanted to share some of the pictures, the promotions, due to yesterday as a National Safety Day. Nurture young minds, develop safety culture, is one of the project in our Chennai Metro Rail. They celebrated the National Safety Day and share these documents to the employer, the client, and also the consultant, whatever the awareness program they created among the workers and all. They are doing the mass housekeeping, safety pledge, flag hoisting, housekeeping. Even they do the safety program awareness to the CSR activity like Vellamal International Schools, CSR activity. Not only nowadays it is not only they are confined to one day. They are doing 1 week. You can see on the top, 4th to 11th March. They say the 51st National Safety Week. Not only the safety day. So the L&T is doing a safety month during January. The whole month January, L&T is celebrating the safety month. But other contractors are doing follow the safety day. But nowadays they are stretched to the safety week. They have various programs during the week to inculcate the culture among the workers. This is another view of the workers. They are calling the workers, and they are giving the banners, posters, and pep talk, and share the views and all. In various contractors. I am sharing only 1 or 2 photos, but we have around 20 packages in our Chennai Metro Rail project. All those packages they done very well, and they are doing very well. So with that, I say that with that I would like to say, there is no job so important and no service so urgent that we cannot take time to perform our job safely. With that, together we make the difference. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Janardhanam. That was a lovely presentation, especially the last punch words that we can go ahead, we can look forward to practice throughout the year and days ahead. Thank you very much for sharing your thoughts. We do have a question. Since it's just related to your presentation, Mr. Janardhanam, there is a question from Mr. Swapan Bhattacharya. Should employers require to conduct mock test for their contractual workmen in the matter of learning and practice of safety plan to be followed in their daily jobs? So you can either take it now or we can take it after.
Yeah, we can do that. So can you tell me again the question, Mark? Can you tell me the
should employers require to conduct mock test for their contractual workmen in the matter of learning and practical of safety plan to be followed in their daily jobs?
Yeah, actually, you see, that's why I explained to you that they have to submit their safety plans first. The contractor have to submit their safety plan. So on behalf of client, as a consultant, because they engage the consultant, the engineers, we will review all those plans. We will review all those plans, and we will review those plans with respect to the contractual requirement, with respect to the legal document, with respect to the international standard, whether all those things are captured in the plan. So once when they captured in the plan, we will approve. Otherwise, we will give a comment and we ask them to include those requirements. And once included, then again we will approve that document. And once approved, then they have to implement all those the approved plan. So we will supervise also whether they according to the plan they are implementing at site. That is correct. We will do.
Okay, thank you. So we move on. There will be other questions, but we will take up after the next presentation.
Sure.
Dr. Kiran Panda will be talking next. He is the EHS consultant based out of Odisha, Bhubaneswar. He will talk on core elements of a positive safety culture. Over to you, Dr. Panda.
Thank you so much, Soma ma'am. Very good morning to the audience, the entire ICC team, and Mr. Janardhanam, my previous speaker. I really feel privileged, and I'm utterly grateful to the entire team of ICC for having brought me to this platform today to share my thoughts on positive safety culture. In fact, this webinar has been organized at the right juncture when the entire country's industrial fraternity is celebrating National Safety Week. My topic has a lot of relevance with the this year's theme of National Safety Day, that is nurture young minds, develop safety culture. In my opinion, a safety culture can only be established through the philosophy of care and share, and not by the concept of hire and fire, which is extremely reactive in nature. Thus, we ought to transition ourselves from a reactive approach to a proactive approach through behavioral changes. Now we can go to my presentation. Am I audible?
Yes, you are audible.
Is the slide visible now?
Yes, yes. Please go ahead.
Okay, fine. Thank you. See, culture is like an operating system in a computer or a smartphone that is invisible, but influences every operation of the gadgets. And culture of an organization can be attributed to the behavior pattern of its employees. So it is the behavior of the employees which will speak about the culture existing there. And it encompasses values, beliefs, mindsets, and behavior of the people. That is, the way things are done around here will reflect the culture, existing culture of that organization. Now, this is the safety culture hexagon. See, the safety culture has the following elements. You should have knowledge, employees' knowledge, shared attitudes, individual behavior, group behavior. Because an individual behaves in a different way when he is alone. But when he goes into a group, then the group dynamics come into play. He may change his behavior there also. So group behavior also plays a vital role in creating a safety culture. Then values of the organization, beliefs and perceptions. This is another slide showing the elements of a safety culture. You can see here, the business priorities, risk perception, perception of safety procedures, employee communication, employee involvement in safety, which is very, very important for creating a good safety culture. Then competence, leadership, and ownership towards safety. The safety culture wheel. Here we have got four elements basically: the behaviors of the entire population, that is the entire workforce, then physical conditions existing in the organization, policies and regulations, then reinforcement. It may be positive, it may be negative as well. Now, what is safety culture? The safety culture of an organization is the product, is a combination of individual and group values, attitudes, perceptions, competencies, and patterns of behavior that determine the effectiveness of an organization's safety management system. See, why is a good safety culture important? To prevent things like this from happening. You can see the unsafe acts as well as the unsafe conditions. This is also, you see how the driver has tied his mobile on the steering itself, and a good safety culture has to prevent this unsafe act. Would your company allow this? See, they have created a shed which is absolutely unsafe. Here the risk perception is very poor. This is another slide which tells us about unsafe acts and conditions. Quite explicit. I don't need to explain. This is a very important slide which also tells us about various unsafe acts as well as unsafe conditions. And these are basically reflecting the behavior pattern of these people. Now, the safety culture, the myths are: you cannot create an accident-free workplace. Safety takes too much time and money. Accidents just happen due to bad luck and are not preventable. Whereas the truth is, accidents don't just happen, they are caused. And safety can't be achieved by chance. It has to be achieved by choice. This is a very important slide which reflects the leadership style, the management approaches towards safety. There is a type 1 leadership style. While reviewing the monthly performance, he has given production is top priority. Tonnage produced, cost per ton, number of customer complaints, number of customers added during the month, the new customers. So he is basically customer centric. He has no concern about safety. And there is a type 2 leadership which says that production and safety go hand in hand. So here the leaders say that he is interested in safety. He has some interest in safety because his priorities are definitely the tonnage produced, cost per ton, but next number of accidents, safety issues also are there for review. Whereas type 3 leadership says something else. Here it clearly spells out the safety culture of that organization, where safety first, everything next is the concept. You see, he is starting a meeting with the safety pledge or song. He is discussing about near misses, incidents, then good safety deeds during the month. Then comes production and cost. So this reflects 3 different types of leadership. Now we come to the core elements of creating a great safety culture. See, first of all, we need to set safety as a core value. That is, safety is top priority here. Then visible leadership commitment. The leadership has to be demonstrative. He has to lead by examples. He has to walk the talk. He should not only talk, he should walk the talk. I remember in one of my previous organizations, when DuPont was engaged as a consultant for improving the safety standard of the organization, a group of people came from DuPont. They visited the plant. Then they discussed at length with the managing director of the organization and it was a marathon meeting. And finally, they suggested that being the topmost management, you have to lead by examples. Then he said, what I need to do? Then the team of DuPont said, because there is an urgency to change people's behavior, the employees' behavior, you need to go around the plant, you need to inspect like a safety inspector once in a month to start with. You have to pick the rags and put it in a box or in your pocket also, so that you set examples for your employees and they will easily embrace what he says next. And in fact, there was no wonder he was so good and so committed that he started doing it. And people were totally amazed that our MD is doing like this. So let us do it. Let us come forward to help him. So that is how leadership, commitment, and involvement. Not only commitment, he was totally involved. Initially, it was once in a month. And later on, after 3 months, it became the frequency got increased. Then it was once in 3 months. However, the culture completely changed. It was in early 2000, 2001 maybe. So now there is a complete change of paradigm shift in the scenario of safety culture in that organization. Then comes resource provision. You see, the safety budget, mostly what happens, many organizations, they say that, there should not be a separate safety budget. Let it be from the OPEX, operational budget. Then when we ask a safety professional, then what about the capital purchases? No, for that we'll go for CapEx. But it is not the correct thing. There should be an earmarked safety budget, and it should be need-based as well, so that there should not be any hitch for bringing improvement in the safety requirements. Then comes the safety documentation, very important. This comes in the planning stage. The policy is nothing else but the intent of the highest topmost management regarding safety, its implementation, safety requirements and its implementation. Then safety manual, procedures, all these have to be there so that people work in the right direction, in the unidirection, not in multi-directions. Then employees' awareness and knowledge, sub-floor classroom trainings, seminars, plant visits, sharing of best practices, safety practices, etc. Then effective communication at all levels. It should be both vertical and horizontal. Visual management. I remember once I had visited one of the steel majors. Those days, maybe in 2010. So those days, the visual management was extremely poor. There was no visual management at all. And in most of the cases, it was in English. So people don't read. Usually the contractual workers, 70% of the workforce belong to the contractual workers. So they don't understand what is written on the board. So it has to be in vernacular, then in Hindi, then in English. If it is in 3 languages, I think it will be more effective and it can be easily understood. So visual management plays a vital role in communication. Then safety bulletins, leaflets, electronic media, hotline. In my organization also, the last organization, there was a hotline facility through which even a worker can directly talk to the CEO. If his voices are not listened to by the management, local management, he can directly talk to the CEO and voice his concern about the safety issues. Then website, weekly and monthly safety talks by the top management. Here comes the leadership involvement. Then comes the employees' participation and consultation in safety initiatives. There should be safety suggestion box scheme, safety circles, safety committee meetings where the workforce, the employees, the workers get an opportunity to share their views and they are consulted. This is very, very important forum, the safety committee meeting. Then involvement of individuals at all levels, both at the planning and implementation phase of a safety initiative. Workers must be encouraged to raise safety concerns without fear, developing a sense of ownership towards safety. You see, we hardly go for brainstorming, including the workers. Usually what happens, the officers, the site in charges, they sit together, they do the brainstorming. That is not correct. You have to become a successful organization as far as safety culture is concerned, the workers must be involved. It should not be a brainstorming. It should be a brainstorming and not brainstorming. There may be vague ideas also, but definitely brainstorming takes a front seat when a cultural change is required. Then very important thing is that time spent by the managers on safety. Usually what happens, the managers only they speak big things. The safety is top priority. We should not work without safety. But how much time they themselves spend with the workforce, with the workers at the shop floor, to give them a perception that yes, you are involved. The enablers are frequent walkthrough visits. If managers go to the shop floor, that create a positive perception amongst the workforce. Then safety performance measurement. Anything you do, it has to be measured to know where you stand. So safety performance measurement is very, very vital and imperative to assess the gap analysis, to find out the gaps, do the gap analysis, then leading and lagging indicators and take corrective actions. Then periodic review of the safety management system by the top management. Usually what happens, the top management gets himself involved in 1 or 2 meetings. Thereafter, things start fizzling out because he says that no, my next man, I am busy with some important meetings, so I will not be able to attend. My next man will go. Then what happens? The next man also try to sublet his responsibility to the next man. He says that no, my manager will go and attend the meeting. By doing this, the entire thing gets diluted day by day. So it is always important that the topmost management, that is the leader, the topmost leader attends the meeting. He reviews the meeting, monthly performance, as well as weekly, whatever may be the frequency. Then comes encouragement to report incidents and near misses. See, people must be encouraged to report incidents and near misses, accidents. If you are not, if you don't make them free to report, they will be scared. If you punish, why are you reporting? Don't make it public. Let there be an accident. What is happening? We should not report. So this is a very conservative approach towards a safety culture. To have a good safety culture, we must ask people to report unbiased and factual, factual reporting, which is a leading indicator. If you report incidents, then it is a big leading indicator to prevent accidents in future. Then effective implementation of reward and recognition system. This is a very, very important aspect of a good safety culture. You have to go for positive reinforcement. You have to encourage people, motivate them to do it, to repeat the good things they have already done and to do further better. So positive reinforcement is very, very important to increase the morale of the workforce. Simultaneously, you should also, as a leader, hold violators accountable. Negative reinforcement has to be there so that there should be caution not to repeat the violation again. Then celebrate success. This results in mass motivation. If the success stories are limited to a particular group of people or maybe to officers only, and workers are not informed about the success stories, then naturally you are not going to build a good safety culture. Definitely the success has come because of everybody's contribution. So it has to be a mass success celebration, which will motivate the entire workforce. Then look for continual growth. There should not be a status quo in the status of your safety culture. There is always, you should look for continual growth. And you implement ISO 45000, which is voluntary, but very, very important in in continuing your growth. Now you see the benefits of a good safety culture. It will reduce the injury rate, the lost time rate, equipment breakdown time, material damage, accident cost. Accident cost, as safety professional, we all know what are the direct costs, what are the indirect costs. Indirect costs are huge, direct cost maybe 10%, but indirect cost will be to the tune of 90%. So by establishing a good safety culture, positive safety culture, accident costs come down drastically because the at-risk behavior gets transitioned to safe behavior and people start working safely. Then what are the benefits of a good positive safety culture? There is a high level of compliance. It is not only statutory compliance imposed on us by the law of the land, but otherwise also a lot of compliance through the code of the company's code of codified rules. There are other standards also, BIS standards. So we tend to comply. It's the basic requirement, of course, but definitely the level of compliance goes up. Then it helps in improving the working condition drastically because you tend to implement 5S concept of housekeeping. That is seiri, seito, seiso, seiketsu, and sitsuke. There's the Japanese terminology. Definitely we implement the 5S concept of housekeeping when there is a positive safety culture and where people say that I am responsible for safety, I am responsible for improving my my workplace. So together, everybody starts working, feeling and working in the same direction, definitely result in improved working conditions. Then obviously there will be safer operations, less unsafe acts. Then improved employees' morale. When the working condition is very good, when people are highly motivated, then definitely it enhances the employees' morale. Then better employees' participation. The employees tend to participate more and more because they are not scared. In one of my previous organizations, there was, there was a value, company's values. One of the company's values was give liberty or allow people to fail. Allow your employee to fail. If you don't allow them to fail, definitely they will keep quiet. They will not come forward to, tell the facts, present the facts. So they will be quite orthodox in their approach, which is not good for the organization. So employees will participate better if there is a positive safety culture in vogue. Then it enhances the company's image, the brand image of the company. Why we say DuPont is the best in the world as far as safety implementation is concerned. Why you say that Tata Steel is good? Definitely, they have done something. They've achieved some level of compliance or safety culture for which we always tend to say that this is a good company to work with, and company's brand image also goes up. Then again, it helps in lowering your employee turnover. The attrition rate will go down drastically. I remember there was a company who told me in 2012 to join that company, but I was not willing to join because of the very bad company's image. The safety compliance was very, very poor. So I didn't, many of my friends said that, don't go to that place here. It's not a good company to work with. The working conditions are not good. Every day there is an accident. So I did not join, in fact. So, but now that company is an excellent company to work with. So the attrition rate will be definitely low. Employee turnover will come down if there is a good safety culture in place. Now you see, what are the indicators of a positive safety culture? You see, if you find this particular display at the organization main gate, it will certainly tell you the culture existing in the organization. You see, they have placed something which tells you about the number of days that has worked, number of accidents, and the number of days remain to achieve our goal. You see, what is the impact? The indicator of a good positive safety culture. How people are aligned to a good safety culture. All the bicyclists are using safety helmets. The use of safety belt while driving. See, usually we come across use of safety belt in a four-wheeler. You see the auto rickshaw also is using the safety belt while carrying some goods. It is because of a good safety culture. You see the gas cylinder securely tied to the trolley with job card displayed, and the person is using the necessary PPEs. Now, to have a great safety culture, if I summarize it, it takes values, leadership, teamwork, commitment, support, then communication. These are not sacrosanct, but in my opinion, these are very, very vital and imperative parameters to create a great safety culture. This punchline is that with an established positive safety culture, safety becomes a way of life. Now you see, safety culture cannot be created overnight. It's a very, very long process because you need to change the behavior pattern of your workforce from a reactive workforce to a proactive workforce. It takes a lot of time. So passion plus consistency gives you success. Thanks for the hearing. Thank you all.
Thank you very much, Dr. Panda. That was a very informative and nice presentation. So we have a few questions. The first one is from Mr. Ravikant Dubey. He has asked, what is the reward and penalty system? Can you share it? This was, I believe, this question is for Mr. Janardhan.
Yeah. So the reward system and the penalty written in detail in the contract condition, because we are the client and the consultant. In the contract conditions, they written the penalties for which violation, how much penalty start from the 5,000 and it go until 20 lakhs, because they are giving simply the money for the safety every 3 months 50 lakhs, and they put the penalty also heavy from 5,000 to 20,000 20 lakhs for various violations. It will go around more than 5 to 10 pages. Same time, the reward also like that, it is written in detail. So we are following the contract conditions. That one I didn't bring it to their presentation since the time is very limited. So if that person really need more info, you can give my email and I can chat with him personally, and I'll share throw some more light on that.
Sure, Mr. Janardhan, there has also been a request from participants for a copy of your presentation. So if you can also share that with us, we will be able to share it with everybody concerned. And same with Dr. Panda also. We have a copy, but that is, I think, a little older version. So the newer version, if you can share.
Yeah, but definitely I will share. But only thing is that I think my mail ID is there. So if it can be shared with the participants, then I can send it through my mail.
Yeah.
There is another question. Of course, the attendee has decided to call himself anonymous attendee. He has not mentioned his name. But the question is, how are you going to safeguard the road commuters in this new phase of Chennai Metro project, considering the previous records?
Yeah, correct. So this is good. Actually, in all the metros and all, they are having a proper barricade. That barricade need to be properly nailed. Whenever we go to the site, we will make sure that the barricade is nailed. For that nailing also, we have a design. How many nails you have to do, how deep it should be done. All these things, it is written clearly in the contract condition. It is designed according to the design, it is constructed. Apart from that, in the barricade board, because we are occupying the main road, we are making sure that enough space for the public is available, and we are laid the road on the right hand side or left hand side for the public to use. And this in the barricade board also, for the night time we are putting the rope light to enhance the visibility, and also we are erecting the IRC signboards. The signboards also complying the IRC signboards, where to cross the area, the speed limit, all those things. It is written clearly in the note in the IRC signboards. Apart from that, we are making sure that the contractors are engaging the enough traffic marshals to guide the public in the crossings or in the junctions and all. Apart from the police, we are erecting we are engaging the traffic marshals, and all those the roads occupation we are occupying according to the traffic management plan. We are working together with the traffic police department. We are getting approval to get the road and the balance road for the public and all according to the traffic management plan approved by the client also and approved by the traffic police. And we are getting the help of a traffic police also to control the traffic. And we are giving well advanced notice to the public how we are going to take up, in how many months or years we are going to take up the road and all. Even sometimes if the road is small, we are thinking that to give the one way. I wanted to share that every metro projects are they are ensuring double time for the public safety than the workman. We are making sure the public should not get any injury, because very well nowadays any injury happen, then the people are sharing in WhatsApp or TV what. That's why they are worried. The government also worried, that client also worried that no public should be get injured. That is more important. Yeah. Come on, please. Soma?
I'm sorry, I was muted. Next question from Mr. Ravikant Dubey. How do you do a trade test for workmen there?
Yeah, actually, with respect to the trade test, when the workers are coming in, the contractors having the responsibility to grade their according to their skills and all. Apart from that, they are grading according to their skills. They are engaging the workman. But as a Chennai Metro Rail, as a consultant, we are making sure that they have to have the third-party training, any training agent approved through approved training agency. They have to have the training for the operators, for the riggers, signalman, for the lifting supervisors, for the scaffolders, for the people working at height. We wanted to have a training section designed for those skilled people, and those training should be done every 6 months once, or it is on a renewal basis. We are making sure that those the high risk job people got the training and all. Apart from that, this like the formwork or concreting and all, the contractors are selecting the skilled people. Some of the big company like Tata and L&T and all, they are having a training school to train the people in their skill, like for concreting or formwork or for scaffolding erection and all. We also coordinating and inspecting the L&T training school and making sure that they are giving training to the workers.
Okay, so those were mostly all the questions that have been covered. Thank you very much. We had a wonderful session today in the morning, and we are also just right in time. Thank you to all the panelists, to both the panelists, for nicely covering and taking all the questions. May I now request Mr. N.R. Sahu, who is also the convener of ICC EHS Committee of Odisha State Council, to please share his closing remarks.
Thank you very much. Uh, I think it's yes, just good afternoon. Good afternoon, Dr. Sen. Good afternoon, the panel members, the panelists, Mr. Janardhan and Dr. K.K. Panda, all the participants. In fact, it was really wonderful for me, particularly, to having listened to the experts on safety. I will tell you in a very brief, because we are just in time, so I think I can take liberty to speak some about a few minutes on this, and maybe in the process I will be able to sum up whatever the expert panels, the experts they said. Not sum up actually. I don't think I'm actually qualified enough to sum up what these experts just spoke about. That's because I'm an environmental professor. I mean, by no means I can ever be qualified as a safety expert. I understand safety is a much deeper connotation in our things. But when we discussed about safety culture, so when we're talking of a culture, culture is something which is all-encompassing. Culture determines the way we dress up, the way we eat, the way we get married, the way we bring up our children, or the way we respect our parents. And these cultures, actually, we have imbibed all these cultures through, it has passed on through generations. Some through scriptures, some through religious practices, some through our parents, grandparents, our teachers. Everybody has contributed so that we have imbibed a culture. In a culture, when we talk of culture, we say that, well, this is Odia culture, this is Bengali culture. And that's because we behave in a certain way. That's something distinct. Maybe we do the same thing, but we slightly we do it different. And when I listen to this this professional, when they talked about having a culture on safety, few things actually came to my mind. One thing, just a moment, Sorry, I mean, even though it's a holiday today, but then all of us in the office, so there was some message from the member secretary. Well, sorry for the interruption. So when we're talking of culture, and when today we were discussing about the culture, safety culture, I remembered, I think long time back in 90s, that was the first time I had been to Japan. And perhaps I think all the safety professionals will agree that the safety culture in Japan is perhaps one of the most deep-rooted. Why it reminded me of that incident, because when we were very young when we went there, and we were taken to an international hostel. So the hostel was specially for all non-Japanese. So there are people from different countries. The first 2 days, what we have been doing, we were taught various safety aspects of that building. That was, at that age, it was, to me, appeared to be ridiculous. They told us, well, if it catches fire, then what is the exit? They actually took us through those exit routes and all that. So, and they also told us what way, if there is a earthquake, how you should escape, everything. And very tidbit, they made us practice, and they made us do it 2 days. The first 2 days we worked that way. So that is, I mean, that is how then I could realize that, well, that is perhaps the culture. I mean, they have imbibed that thing in their culture. So it's you don't have to teach them; it comes automatically to them. So when we're talking of a positive safety culture, I think we should ingrain the minds of the people in such a way that it should automatically come to somebody's mind, that they should know, well, in this situation, I must act or behave in a certain manner. Now, why it comes? Because when I was trying to correlate all the speakers and my trying to, go through my past memories and whatever I learned from my own culture, you can say, whether I do not know whether it is safe or unsafe. One common thing that came out from both Dr. Panda and Mr. Janardhan's presentation is the value system. Mr. Janardhan spoke about the core value. Dr. Panda is also about the value system. That's because that how much we value all this, like how much we value the human life, how much we value the loss of a limb, how much we value our days in a hospital. So what is the value that we place? It's very important. Just to give you, very often we actually confuse between value and cost, because most of the management we are more overwhelmed with the cost benefit analysis. For everything, we try to see what is the cost and what is the benefit and start thinking in that manner. But when we put a value, and again, that value comes from a culture. For example, a simple thing like, just for example, you go to a market and buy a shawl. It may cost you about, say, 500 rupees or 1,000 rupees. So that's the cost that you put. But if my grandmother's shawl, which may be having few holes, that's for me is invaluable. I'm not going to give it to somebody even at, say, 50,000 rupees. So that's the value that we put. Now, that value system is what I understand is very, very important. What is the value that we put on these various safety aspects? And then second thing is the perception, risk perception. Maybe we are valuing, but if we are not aware of, or if we don't have enough information on the associated risk, then also we will not be able to imbibe that culture. So these are the two elements what I gather are very, very important to build a robust culture. Mr. Janardhan actually very nicely explained that to make it happen, we have to have right kind of resources. We have to have people with good skills, and those things are necessary to build a culture. But I particularly like the way he's linked the culture, safety culture, to sustainable development. I mean, that's the kind of realization I had today, that, well, this is, yes, truly the safety culture is one important component of a sustainable development. So that's actually, it's I found them to be highly enriching. I mean, both the speakers were excellent. It was a humble attempt on our behalf to have this workshop. We did it it's a very hectic manner. I personally could not give enough time because there was some medical emergency in my family. So I think we would have been, we could make things much better, but still we had 30 plus participants, particularly when the safety week is going on. And I'm sure there will be the people, there must be other events or things must be happening in everybody's organization. And despite that, you came and you participated and you asked questions. So I think whatever humble attempt that we made to make this happen was successful in a very small way. We certainly, with our chairman, Dr. Sen, we certainly take it forward, make a few more such events. So we have HSE, so health, safety and environment, a lot of things, in fact, that we should work in a manner with participation of everyone to imbibe a culture that not only should address safety, but health and environment all together, because I understand they're very, very closely linked. So thank you very much. And special thanks to Soma, who could, she did all the, spade work and groundwork to make this happen. And thank you, everybody. Thank you, Mr. Janardhan. Thank you, Mr. KK Panda, for coming and addressing the participants, and all the participants who, despite all their engagement, could come and spare about a little more than 1 hour. So I thank one and all. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. So we've come to the end of this wonderful informative session. Thank you, Dr. Sen, Mr. Sahu, for putting this together. Actually, you have you have been the guiding light behind this. So thank you. Thank you to all the participants. We will come back to you with a series of other programs planned up during the year. So till then, have a nice day. Have a nice weekend. Goodbye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Goodbye.
Thank you. Thank you very much.